Oh,
Well,
not
not and go on to it and get back on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you can have, well, we've
Yeah,
all
you
had
know what I mean.
we've all had a few streams running at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too sure. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Rosalie. Sorry if you went on the first attempt. Don't know what happened there. It was not working, so I had to cancel that, delete it. But here we are. It's still cold, but it's not windy. It's not raining. So yeah, much better than last week. But we've had snow on the mountains around Canberra this week, so yeah, definitely gotten into winter now. Fun and games. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Wanda. Look at all the ladies on here. Did say hello, yes. Yes, here we are. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube keeps tossing up all sorts of new weird stuff every time we go to live, so don't know what's going on there. But anyway, we get there. Hey, Mr. Sam Girl. Hey, Marguerite. Oh, you want to be with me? Oh, okay. We're a bit warmer than you, Wanda. Oh, that's a nice change. So far, it's just Dave and me this morning. Hopefully, we might get at least one other show up today. But we'll start and go with it. Hey, Lulu. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, well, you might as well make a blast. Have a go.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Governor General, this letter is a direct appeal from an ever-growing group of Australian people, both here and at home. We call on you to action the public reveal of the unredacted findings of the police report from the Wood Royal Commission 1995 to 1997. The Wood Royal Commission, as catalogued with the Police Integrity Commission, resulted in a 90-year suppression order containing 28 names of alleged pedophiles of prominent stature, including judges, government officials, an ex-Prime Minister and others. That our Australian government has made no attempt to undo the 90-year suppression order for the supposed safety and well-being of the population is unacceptable. Revisited again in 2015 in the Senate Legal and Constitutional Affairs Legislation Committee meeting, the then Senator Bill Heffernan delivered the same request for the findings to be released to the public. As the Senator stated, it's not so much the secret that's the problem, it's when a group of people such as the 28 keep each other's secrets. Further into his appeal, he quoted the Judge of the Day. We decided not to revisit that issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary. Governor General, how can you justify the 90-year suppression order of the police report from the Wood Royal Commission, given that the Australian taxpayers paid out roughly $64 million on the case? We have a right to full disclosure of the investigations. 28 years later, we have stood each week since August 30, 2021 at Government House in Queensland, and since the 7th of February 2022 here in the nation's capital. Each and every one of us knows someone who has survived the appalling industry of child trafficking and pedophilia. It is up to the men and women of Australia to determine their level of confidence in the police, judiciary system, the media, yourself and Parliament on this matter. Yours sincerely, concerned men and women of Australia.
Might play Glenn Fisher's speech after you, if that's all right.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
just off the phone.
Yep, I'll just do some of Bill Heffernan original word.
Oh, I left it on. I've left it on.
Samantha, this morning I'm going to read a bit more of Bill Heffernan's speech in the Senate Legal and Constitution Affairs Legislation Committee meeting on the 20th of October 2015, which I've read before, but certainly worth repeating. So, Senator Heffernan said, Mr. Attorney General, in recent months, I have put a proposition to the Royal Commission into the institutional treatment of children. It's pretty heartbreaking to see what has gone on and what has been denied for the last 50 years, now being exposed as a reality. It has broken a lot of hearts. I actually want to go to the proposition, Mr. Attorney, that we should include in the terms of reference the institution of the law. And I have documents here which the Royal Commission has seen to justify that case. In fact, every Attorney General, from Attorney General Ruddock till now, has seen some of those documents. They are police documents and they are very disturbing. In the last 18 months, I have put forward a case which I initiated to remove a judge from the bench in New South Wales, Justice Gary Nielsen, whose name in the trade
is gorilla in black lace, and it succeeded to a point. He was hearing a case against a man who was found guilty of raping siblings and then faced new charges, and the judge would not allow the earlier charges into the court. During the hearing of the case and from the bench, he said to the court that he thought the law was out of date, that sex for siblings should now be legal, and that it should not be illegal for men to have sex with children. I found that despicable and despising, and a display of complete bias from the bench. I took it to the Judicial Commission. I have tried in vain to get a federal judicial commission. I think the treatment in the federal jurisdiction of children by some people in the jurisdiction of the family court, the family law court, is disgusting and a disgrace. And some of those children are a tool for attorneys in representing cases. The chair said in response, Senator Heffernan, I do not think anyone would disagree with anything you have said. Senator Heffernan continued, I have produced a set of documents to the Royal Commission under an order to produce, which includes, disturbingly, documents that name in one document 28 people as alleged pedophiles and signed off by Gary Crook QC, counsel assisting an earlier Royal Commission. It includes a whole lot of prominent people, and I think to protect the discretion of the Royal Commission, I would not comment on what the Commission thought, except that they thought it was outside the terms of reference of the Royal Commission. One of my problems is that we have in Australia a compromise at the highest of levels. There is a former Prime Minister on this list, and it is a police document. Lawyers have used the tool of abuse in the divorce courts. Divorce courts should deal with, in my view, the breakup of the family and its assets, etc. It should not and is not qualified to deal with the abuse that is alleged. That should be a separate entity, and it is not. Later, he said, obviously these documents are very disturbing. They were delivered to me by a police agency some time ago because no one seems to want to deal with them. Every Attorney General has seen some of these documents. Some of them did not read them. Some of them returned them. Robert McClelland tried to do something about some of them. It is not so much the secret that is the problem. It is when a group of people, such as the 28 on this page, keep each other's secrets that the institution becomes compromised. On this list, there are some examples of that. For thousands and thousands of people in Australia, and the Royal Commission, to its credit, is demonstrating the disgusting culture of some of our institutions. I just appeal for you to give consideration to cleaning up this act. The Royal Commission, as you know, Attorney General, was about to explore, and it is in the Hansard, so it is no great secret, who the legal fraternity people were that used to attend Costello's, the boy brothel club in Kellett Street, King's Cross. I actually have the list here. A lot of them are still practicing, but the judge of the day of the Royal Commission decided it was a no-go zone. Paddy Bergen, counsel assisting at the time, said, "We will rise for morning tea," and they never went back to it. I did ask the Commissioner why. He said he would deny it if I ever mentioned it. I think it is time to mention it in view of the good work of the Royal Commission. He said, we've decided not to revisit that issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary. Like with the churches and our other institutions who are now facing up to the truth, I think it is time that the institution of the law face reality. There are a lot of good people in the law. The Royal Commission is doing an excellent job. I think it is time that we gave consideration to cleaning up the Act. You may like to revisit. And I have to say, I got rid of another judge through the excellent work of the Judicial Commission in New South Wales a few years ago, without a murmur. He was a person who is in this list, who was picking up young blokes in the toilets outside Marcellian College at Randwick. He heard a case in the Central West of a stepfather abusing a daughter. The judge closed the court, found the person guilty, suppressed the names, gave a non-custodial sentence to the man, and let him go back to the family home. Nothing else was done. I think this is a disgrace. Senator Brandis commented that just because somebody's name appears on a list does not make them guilty. And he said he knew that Senator Heffernan understood that. If there are serious allegations to be made against one or more people, then they should be put in the hands of the police. And I know you have done that. Thirdly, let me make the point that nobody is above the law. I do not comment on your general allegations, but of course, nobody is above the law. Nobody. Senator Heffernan continued, I think included in these documents, and I think it measures the issue, Mr. Attorney, and I would hope people are listening and give serious consideration to the victims of this process. When the police find it necessary to put a judge under surveillance, I think we have got to a point where we have a problem. And when that surveillance is dropped because of a lack of cooperation between the AFP and the New South Wales Police, we have a problem. And no doubt we still have that problem, Samantha, because these issues have still not been addressed. We ask that you raise these issues with the people of Australia so that this dirty laundry can be aired and that those victims, the survivors, can have closure and their perpetrators can be held to account. And then further, the full scope of corruption within all government systems, the courts, the corrupt private systems can be brought to light, and we can build a world based on truth and justice. Exposure 28, Samantha.
A friend of ours, Glenn Fisher, who gave evidence to the Wood Royal Commission, came down to visit us down here at the Governor-General's. I'm just going to play his speech.
The author of the book Predator's Paradise and founder of the Leg Up Project, and they don't like me because the author of the book Predator's Paradise and founder of the Leg Up Project, and they don't like me because I'm a living example of systemic failures. I am actually living proof of what happened in the 28 November. I actually grew up on the streets of Sydney, and I actually witnessed these men coming in their cars to the wall and to the park and picking up children. I gave evidence at the Withdrawal Commission. When they came and see me at the Withdrawal Commission, I thought finally I'm going to get my voice heard. After years and years of being through abuse, depression, addiction and trauma, I thought they're finally going to hear what I have to say. They said, Glenn, this is your opportunity to speak to the corruption, the police of King's Cross who are covering up the pedophilia in King's Cross and the multiple children that have died, like my girlfriend. So I gave evidence at the Withdrawal Commission and I told them my story. And what ends up happening is they seal my file. And then I go through 4 fucking trials against my abusers. One by one, I take pedophile up to pedophile, high profile pedophiles to court, and I put them in jail. And you know what they did to me then? They gave them 18-month sentences. What a fucking slap in the face. Yeah. Sorry for my language, but what an absolute slap in the face. Your value, Glenn, is 18 months. And the second one, the first one, Paul Chapman-Jones, he got 18 months. There were multiple victims, and each one of them was to run concurrent, which means that for 20 18-month sentences, he only done 18 months. That's a slap in the face to every single child raised on the streets and's gone through this trauma. So I go through it again with a guy named Ken Fogarty, and he gets 18 months. And then I go through it again with a guy named Grant Leroy Morris, who ran the refuge and was the head of Enzo Insurance, and he gets 2 years, 8 months. And then my main abuser, Simon Davies, who told me as a boy I'd never get justice, I'd never write my book, I was a heroin addict, I'd be dead by the age of 21, he flees to another country where he uses the statute of limitations in another country to negate 13 of 18 charges, to take out 2 of 4 victims. So 2 victims will never get justice because our system allows people that are predators to go offshore into Europe and use their laws, statute laws, to negate crimes in our country. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. There needs to be a blanket agreement with every country in the world that when a child is abused, all bets are off, man. It doesn't matter where in the fucking world you go, put them on that plane, send them back and hold them accountable for these crimes. Because what you get is, I am a product of this environment. I'm a product. And what happens is hurt people. And that became my story. I started doing armed robberies. I started robbing dealers. I started fighting anyone that wanted to fight because I had so much anger in my body because hurt people. And then in 2015, they called me up again and they said, Glenn, we're so sorry about what happened to the Withdrawal Commission, but we've got another Royal Commission now into institutional abuse. You can tell your story about being raised in orphanages, in refuges and in Darrick Boys Home. You can tell them about how you were abused again, how I went into foster care and I'm placed into a house with 9 adults, placed into a bedroom with 3 adult men, 2 with prior convictions for pedophilia, and I'm put into that bedroom and systemically abused for my entire stay. So I do. I get the courage, and it takes a lot of courage to go forth again after being burnt over and over. But I do it because I believe they're finally going to hear our story, and Australia's going to finally get to hear the truth of the systemic failures in this country about the abuses that have been held by people in positions of power. Yeah. High-profile men travelling to King's Cross who believe these are fathers that have children, have wives. They're school principals, they're teachers, they're politicians, they're movie stars, they're the people you don't expect who think that's okay, I've got a lot of money, I'll just go to King's Cross and I'll buy me a little child. And then what happens is they take them to rooms that are run by gangsters and these gangsters film it, and then they're not only abusing children but they're now compromised, which means that their corruption gets worse. So Johnny covers up, everybody's covering everybody's ass.
Yeah, fully.
And then they say to us, right, in the Royal Commission, we're sealing the files because we're afraid that we will lose faith in the judiciary system. Bro, that happened fucking years ago. We lost faith in the judiciary system a long time ago. Do you know how you restore faith? With transparency and honesty.
That's right.
That's it. No matter how the cards fall, just be honest and open. Because what that does is that allows us to heal. But it hasn't done that to me. They suppressed my file, and it was only because a current affair who stood up in my last case and said, hey, do you want your file suppressed? And I said, fuck no, I don't. And the court's saying to me, Glenn, the reason we're suppressing your file is to protect you. You ain't protecting me from shit, man. You ain't protecting me at all. Australia needs to hear these stories,
Absolutely.
as painful as they are, so that these things don't happen any further. So these things don't happen in the future. There's men out there and women out now who have been through abuse and they don't speak up because they're afraid. We've been taught or drilled into us as kids, don't dob, stitches get stitches. That mentality allowed my abusers to go free for 35 years. And that mentality allowed my abusers to continue to abuse. To continue abuse and abuse and abuse. So every time you tell your story, you might give just a little bit of information that collaborates someone else's story, and it might just get closer for someone else. So I advise everybody to find your voice and find your courage, because your voice is your superpower. Absolutely your superpower.
That's right.
I spent so many years in addiction, I allowed my traumas of my childhood to steal my life. It literally stole my life. I sat on the lounge feeling sorry for myself in victim mode. That don't happen no more. Today I've taken control, I've taken power, and I will not be silenced. And to this day, I'm one that's never been financially compensated, because I won't accept fucking redress. I think redress to me is an insult. You know what I mean? 150k, Glenn, you sign this bit of paper and it's, fuck you, bro. That's not going to change what I feel in my heart.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I am suing the government for the systemic failures, and I don't have faith in that either. But we'll see how it plays out. You know what I mean? What I do know is there are people out there rorting the redress scheme, and it seems to be people who are being unfairly enriched that haven't been abused, while real victims of these crimes are falling through the cracks. That's a fucking tragedy. That's a prime example of the government that we have, that throws money at things without brains or trust or finding out what the actual Australian people want. We've allowed so many people to come into our country, we don't know if we're fucking Arthur or Martha anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the truth.
What is happening to our country?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, my name's Glenn Fisher. As you know, I'm the author of the book Predator's Paradise. I've turned my life around now, and I go down to the streets and I try and help others, and I reach out to people who got trauma, because I'm a firm believer that addiction and alcoholism is a secondary symptom to actual trauma. Trauma is the underlying impacts of addiction. When we start addressing people's trauma, then we can start dealing with things like homelessness, addiction, and mental health. Mental health, I watch an absolute epidemic on the streets at the moment of people on the streets with mental health issues, because the money created an NDIS scheme, which again is a freaking raw and a joke, which is enriching people at the top but not those at the bottom, whilst people are walking around the streets suffering with mental health issues. And as a person that works on the streets, who's empathetic and has a heart, it fucking hurts my very soul.
Yeah.
It literally hurts my soul. When I sit down and I talk to somebody and I hear their story and I go, bro, you are me. The only difference between you and me is our circumstances. I've now got my shit together, and I'm trying everything in my heart to try and instill in my heart into their heart. But it sounds simple, it's not. It's actually hard, because people are broken. People are absolutely broken, and a lot of it's because of the systemic failures of our country.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me. Remember my name, Glenn Fisher!
Yeah!
He is the author of the book.
Wow, that was fantastic. Thanks, Dave. Oh, I'll just say a couple of other.
Oh yeah,
Words.
yeah, cool.
Just an afterthought.
Those were very powerful words from a victim and a survivor of exactly what Will Heffernan was speaking about. An incredible man has managed to turn his life completely around and now spends a vast majority of his time helping others, helping the homeless, taking care packs to homeless people. You can see his story on, I think it was on 60 Minutes. Is that right?
I said a current affair.
A current affair. So if you look up Glenn Fisher, a current affair, you can see that whole story. Just another thought too. When he was speaking, I was thinking about the children in South Australia. I read the book called The Child Protection Racket. I can't remember the author's name now. Very, again, very disturbing situation that has gone on in South Australia for what seems to be a long time, where the children that are put into protection put into the protection services, apparently for their own good, then become victims of child abusers. And the system does everything possible to keep that child in that awful situation. A very interesting read. And on another topic, on the 3rd of June, the Australian Immunisation Handbook was updated. A very significant update, which interestingly has not been reported very widely, particularly not in the mainstream media. I'll just read you, slightly altered, what that update said. Healthy infants, children and adolescents aged under 18 years are not recommended to receive COVID jibby jabs, experimental injections. It is not recommended for healthy infants, children or adolescents who do not have medical conditions that increase their risk of severe illnesses. This is because the risk of severe illness is extremely low in this cohort over the course of the pandemic, and benefits of the jibby jab are not considered to outweigh the potential harms. Full stop. This does not say that, oh, now we have just, the course of the pandemic has changed and the jibby jabs are no longer effective against the latest version of it. No, it says the risk of severe illness was extremely low in this cohort over the course of the pandemic. Correct. And when I was looking these things up, I noticed that on the 20th of November 2024, they made some other recommendations regarding the primary course of the jibby jabs, the first one. And at that time, November last year, their recommendations were that children under the ages of 18 without risk factors were not eligible for the jibby jab. You didn't hear that on the news either. So people, your children, if they have not already had these experimental injections, are now safe.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years ago, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided camps, done all they can. 2 kicks out of camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up, but I'm out on bail and I'm still here. They try so hard, we try not laugh. They tow my car, the next day it's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to the start. No D's, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables are turned. We come with a proof for all the assaults, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut me loose, knock knock. Yeah, who at the door? Makada, bring on the storm. Library to empty, thought we were gone, regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We won't cry, still ain't shed no tear. The sense of we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you more, we unite. You don't call the shot, sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Return of the sovereign, but they never left. Yeah, they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here, the oldest civilization. It's been how many years? They're still here. Need your support for the new way this war is fought. Alowari for the law and in June income bore accords. Gotta cut out the cancer, yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders, they got the law, we got the numbers, that is the answer. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. Never got the jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, don't know the camps, who keeps at the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail and I'm still here. They see us come, we see them run. Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Yeah, they're getting scared, front line, you can bet I'm there. Even when we're gone, our spirit lives on, yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They raid at the camps, don't know the camps, who kicks at the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail and I'm still here.
Do you want to say a few things before Amazing Grace, or?
Yeah, I'll say a prayer. I actually zoomed in here. Yeah. Okay. Blue.
God, Creator, Source, we thank you for your guidance, for your love, for all the beautiful things that you bring into our lives, and for the hardships that help us grow. Thank you for the love that we have for each other that sustains us, and the love that you have for us and we have for you that keeps us on the path towards your greatest outcome for humanity. And thank you for the small part that we individually get to play in your great plan. Thank you for all the revelations that are now coming out. Thank you for helping those who have tried so hard not to see, for helping them to start to open their eyes and their ears and their hearts. Thank you for the community that we have built, which shows us a glimpse into what our future could be, where we all care for each other, where we help each other, where we talk through any issues that arise with an open heart, so that we can together formulate the greatest possible outcome in any situation. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the grace, for the blessings and the miracles. Amen.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining at the sun, with no rest days to sing God's praise. And when we first believed,
They'll
you
sing
reckon?
the song.
Another song.
Come in, everybody. Where are they all
Everyone
hiding?
in the back. 2, 3, 4. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Boom, ba-dum. Jesus loves the little children, all the children. Red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. And
They're not for sale. That's all right. Gets into everything. Okie dokie thockies. What's happening in your chat? That's right. That's right, Mr. Singal. Never will be. Okie dokie. Oh, Magna Carta. Got lots of stuff going on here, guys. Bill of Rights. Oh, we've got lots of legislation quoting today. Don't know. Okay. Oh, who have I not said hello to? Amos. Nobby. Whitney. Taxi ride. Hey, Randy. Cool. And Pam. I said hello to you, Pam, before. Oh, Chris, you just got in at the end, did you? That's right. You can replay if you need. Good to see you all here. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some of the other regulars back next week. It's been a bit on for a few people. And yeah. We'll be seeing a fair few other people soon by the sounds of things with this Cairns to Canberra event, which is coming up. It must be starting next weekend. I think that's how it's working. So the weekend after, we should be seeing a few more faces here, but whether they're here at Gigi's or we'll just see them at Parliament. Anyway, whatever happens, we'll be there. I think they're due to arrive in Canberra on the Saturday afternoon, actually. On the 6th or the 5th or the whatever of July. So I hope everybody's doing well. Bioweapons, that's what they are, isn't it? Yeah, Rosalie, Glenn Fisher's book. Yeah. Very interesting read. And for him to, well, he kept his true self at the forefront through most of what he went through as a child, which is quite amazing. He has such a beautiful heart. He's so caring, and that shone through his whole experiences on the cross. He always kept his heart in consideration for other people. Beautiful. Yeah, and a really beautiful man to talk to. So yeah, it's not at all surprising that he is doing what he's doing now. But yeah, really, yeah, dreadful things he went through. Truly dreadful. But he has overcome. And hopefully all survivors can find that sort of strength and resilience to overcome. Yeah, you've got too much chat in there about law things. Too hard on a Sunday morning. Oh, thanks, Nobby. Yeah, it was good. Good hearing Glenn Fisher's speech that he made here down at the lake. Was that last year?
What happened?
When Glenn Fisher was here? That was last year, wasn't it?
It was last year.
Everything blurs into one. It's like, was it last year, the year before, this year? No idea. No, it was not that long ago.
Yeah, it was a few months ago at least, yeah. But I thought it was late last year. But...
Yeah, might have been. Mm.
Oh, I could flick through the...
Oh, no. It'll be on your history where it was. That. Oh, have you just taken a clip out of it?
I just took a clip.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Well, someone posted it on Facebook and I screen recorded it.
All right.
That's how I got it into my photos. Yeah. Roundabout way of doing it. But
yeah, no, a bit of an effort to track. Oh, actually, his photo should be on the thumbnail for that one.
Yeah. I started using it as the thumbnail.
Anyway, I might go back and have a look at it. See when that was at some point. Southern Cross. We stood by the Southern Cross to stand truly by each other and fight to defend our rights and liberties. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, Chris. That is a lie. Blood makes your family know. There's so much more. And the beauty of, well, even in this family, we still don't get to choose all the members of our family. you can't get on with everybody. But, we, the hearts of the people, even if we don't see eye to eye, is still what's the important thing. Oh, yeah, that's right. His girlfriend. Oh, he lost so much, Glenn Fisher, Rosalie, you're right. His girlfriend in, all sorts of dreadful circumstances. Okay, well, we might get out of the cold here. If people want to get together for a Zoom meeting, then send me something to let me know you want to do that. Either text me, if we're friends on Facebook, send me something, or email the Proton email that's on the description, text on the phone number that's in the description for the video. And if people want to get together and have a chat, happy to set it up. But you guys take the first move. Let me know when you want to do that, what time suits, and I can set it up. But of course there's so many other avenues for people to get together, have a chat, if you're Facebook friends or whatever. But that's something I can offer to assist with. But you tell me what you want. Okay, so we'll finish up there for now, and we'll see you again next week. We'll be at the markets on Saturday. We had a good day yesterday. Had lots of really good chats. And the markets weren't on this week, but they will be on next week, so there should be a lot more people. Maybe I might even do a live, who knows. We'll see how it goes. But we'll definitely be back here on Sunday. Hopefully we're a couple more than just Dave and I. It would be good, but I think, they're out there. Things have got to line up. Got no accent, Nobby. How'd you work that out? Yeah, that's it. The family, liking, not necessary. He could have. Definitely could have been bitter after everything he went through. It wasn't an easy journey for Glenn Fisher to, pull himself out of all that. It was a struggle. But he got there. He was motivated. Okay, anyway, catch you all next time. Have a great week. Be the love that you want to feel. Share that with people around you, regardless of who they are, whether you like them or not. Doesn't mean you can't be loving, and shine your light bright. Okay, ta-da. Say bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Bye.